Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel. As you guys can see, I'm here at the studio. It is Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021. I wanted to come here and just talk about something that I was reading, which I found to be very interesting because, as we all know, it's barely, it's very minimum. The stories that we hear about child star that develop and they have like no regrets, no remorse against their parents and nothing like that. As we all know, like having a job can be very stressful. I can only imagine, I cannot even begin to imagine the kids having to have that kind of schedule, and aside from school, to be able to have to perform and have a job and things like that, and being pushed not only by their parents but also like if they're movie stars or singers, being pushed by the industry, being tremendous, having tremendous amount of rehearsal time. It's just exhausting, and also like seeing their friends having all this time to do kind of like being a child, because in life, guys, everything comes at its time. I mean, I'm one of those people, I don't like to push things. I always God reminds me, a lot of the times I pray for something and sometimes I want it so bad and I'm like, why don't I just have that now? And then looking back at it, a lot of those things that I wanted, I wasn't ready for. I think you have to give time to where time is needed. At the end of the day, things will come and people will grow, and there's a time for everything. That's why you don't put a baby into a workplace. They're not developed enough, not physically or mentally, obviously. But I feel like with this social media pandemic that we have, people are using more and more their kids to join them in the virtual world, I guess you can say. They're using their kids to get more followers and to create channels. And these kids, if you think about it, these kids are being exposed at such an early age. Imagine, because like for myself, right? I'm here, I do my YouTube channel, I do a lot of social media. I chose to do that. I'm an adult. I chose to do that, so I cannot complain. 10 years from now, if one of my videos is out there and people are like talking about it, I cannot say, oh, you know what? It was my mom who did that. I never wanted it. But when you're being recorded for so long, since you are such a young person, like since a baby, and I think about, when I'm talking about this, I think about the Ace family, I love watching, I like watching their kids, but I also think about it. I'm like, do they really want this? Do they even know what a camera is? This is just something that they see their dad talking to. They just had a new baby, and it's all over social media. They're using their kids kind of like as a way to generate income, and people, like they say, well, everybody loves them. It's developing, creating so much income for them and their families and their immediate families. So what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it is that at the end of the day, these kids have they have no decision making. Like it's not up to them to make the choices. And they're gonna grow up, and one day they're gonna be seen, and like they're already famous, so it's not like they're gonna have the privacy. Like I can be very private, and a lot of the times I don't like, and I'm just speaking from what I know. When I was doing a lot of things in town here, with my business, I didn't like, it's so crazy because I didn't like to be being recognized, because sometimes I guess you're not ready for it, and but some other days it was fine. But I think about these kids, and they start in the spotlight so young, and doing movies and TVs and like being musicians. I mean, some of them they haven't even developed yet their own personality fully, so maybe they don't like that. And maybe they don't like to be photographed or being on video. They see their whole family talking to a thing, because they might not even know what a camera is yet, and they kind of like just follow along. This is what they're grown into. So maybe you know, I just feel like that's just gonna lead to more troubles as they get older. Because imagine, like, you go from having so many millions of followers watching you since you were born to then, like, let's say like you want to start like to go to school, excuse me, you want to go to school or something, like, and now you're being recognized everywhere you go. People are putting they know you from what they see, they don't really get to know you, and that can attract people to get advantage of you, and also people who, you know, do miss out on relationships because they, like, you know what, their whole family, they do that or the other, and they're judging you what they see. They don't really get to know you. Or there are people who think they know you just because they see your videos or they've been watching you, I guess you can say, since you were born. And that can create such a psychological problem, I think, in the young ones that start so young on TV. And as you guys know, I spoke about somebody like people who are dead already, like Selenaquintanilla. I spoke about her. I had one of my videos go really viral, I guess you can say, about her. And you know, I get comments on that video every other day, and some of the comments are very hard to to read, to be honest. People they don't like, you know, about that video. I was talking about idolatry and things like that. But you know, thinking about it, in this topic that I'm talking about for today in my video about child stars, and when they start so young in the music industry, in being actors and things like that, in the entertainment industry, I guess you can say, I know it's hard. And you know, the sad part about that is that a lot of the times when they start so young, they have they have no say on anything, yet they're being booked for everything based on what their parents think is right. And this camera is just not playing today. Hold on, guys. I want to put something here. Okay. So there we go. So I just wanted to kind of like talk a little bit about that, and especially I think it's better. So, you know, we have seen people like Britney Spears, Michael Jackson, and all these people, like even like the boy group bands and things like that. They start so young, and a lot of the times, you know, maybe when they're 12 and 13, they want it. They like singing, they like dancing, and they want it. But I don't think, if you really think about it, even Jesus, when he started his ministry, I mean, he started at 33. You know, I don't think work was meant for a child. And then we see the example of Jesus, and, you know, it's not the same type of, I guess you can say, work or mission, but if you think about that, you know, when Jesus got lost and they were looking for him all over the place, and he's like, you know, I gotta be my dad's business. He was found talking at the church. I love that verse. I gotta find it. I just love it because I can picture it, like this child just debating, like with the people at the church or talking to them, and they were looking for him all over the place. He said, well, I gotta be about my dad's business. So like, oh, like, what you want me to do? And you know, everything has its time in life. I think for Jesus, he started when he was 33. And you know, thinking about, like, when I was talking about Selenaquintanilla, like, that lady has been there for 20 plus years, and yet, you know, when she was younger, growing up with her family, she was being used, you know, she was put in the spotlight since a very young age, and she's been working. And now 20 plus years after that, and she's still working, and people want to say, you know, we love her, this and that. That's great. I mean, I'm not saying she wasn't talented and that she wasn't a great person, nothing like that, but if you really truly love her, you have to understand and be honest with yourself that she hasn't made a decision. She hasn't had a boy since 20 plus years, since, you know, or more. She hasn't developed anything. Just she's being used so much. Her image is being used so much to create income, to generate income, and also she hasn't developed anything new because she passed. So there's nothing new, nothing fresh about her, yet they sell it to you like it's something new. And that's just something to think about it. But anyways, let me just get to the point before I make this video way too long. I was reading this article, guys, about Jennettemccurdy. she's co-starred on the show iCarly, right? And then she worked with Miranda Crossgrove. And on February, just 2 weeks ago, last week, she said that she's gonna retire from being an actress. She said my mom put me in this when I was 6 years old, and I guess I was the main financial support for my family. My family didn't have a lot of money, and this was the way out, which I actually think was helpful in driving me to some degree of success. Um, she continued, I ultimately quit after my mom passed away because of her death kind of died. A lot of when she died, like a lot of her ideas for my life also died. And it was a difficult journey for me. I mean, imagine, guys, to have that pressure to be the breadwinner for your entire family when you are so young. And like I think I don't know why I'm thinking about her. Like Selena, like she not only did she was like the singer, like for the family group, like if she, let's say she wanted not to do a show today, not only would she not get paid that day, but her entire family also would not get paid. So I can only imagine the pressure that this lady had. It must have been so crazy, and it's not like it happened for her just 1 year. It happens to her for many, many years during her life. And it's just so sad to see that even so many years after passing, she's still being the number one, I guess you can say, breadwinner for her family, because they're just, it's like they took that train and they're not getting off from it. They're just gonna pull from it more and more and more, and every day create more something new about her. And then this lady, who quit from acting, she's saying, my mom made me started about this because she wanted me about when she was 6, and you know she said when her mom died, kind of like a lot of ideas died for her life. And that goes to show you she's both basically just trying to please her mom. I cannot imagine having that pressure as a child like that. I mean, it's hard to get a job. I mean, it's hard to have a job now. You have to not only, be a good worker and things like that, but you have to do what your manager said. Be a good worker, and that takes a lot. And imagine having the pressure of your parents, because let's just say, guys, they're doing a movie or something. They make the actors like rehearse for like 3 hours straight, and they're like, okay, tomorrow we'll shoot the whole film. What do you think that mom is gonna do with that child when she gets home? She's gonna make her rehearse again because she wants her to do good. And it's just, these are kids. They're child, and like everything comes in life at its time. You shouldn't be putting somebody that pressure to kind of like support the entire family just because, oh, they're appearing on TV or something. The damage that they're gonna go through, it must be very hard. They might not see it in the moment. A lot of kids, they might like what they do, but it's crazy. I mean, speaking about child stars, so I was watching, you guys know the twins from Everybody Loves Raymond. I was watching a thing about them, like a behind the scenes clip up with them. And we all know, like a couple years ago, one of them committed suicide, which is, it's just horrible. I'm not saying it was nothing related to being a child star, nothing like that. I don't really know the story behind it, but I was watching some of the behind the scenes footage of Everybody Loves Raymond, and I saw how they were filming. It's just so sad to put kids in that environment. It's not for them to do. I just don't think it. If it's not really their choice. And that's the sad part, because it's not their choice. They're not willing to do it. A lot of the times they're just doing it because their parents sign a contract that they cannot really get out of, and they have to follow through, like it or not. And when you're an adult, there are things that you do whether you like it or not. Like, you're becoming an adult and you face it and you deal with it, but you are an adult. So you are able to deal and handle things like that. But when you're a child, that must be so much hard. So I was watching this behind the scenes footage of them, and I remember one of them, I guess, messed up the lines, and immediately they're not even done saying cut, and there somebody rushes from the back and right to them and starts showing him the paper, kind of like the script, and like, say it again, kind of like, this is how you say it. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, oh, I could only imagine how many times they had to do that. And we all know, like, when they're filming, like when they get to the final filming, there's a lot of rehearsal that has to go through. And you think about kids that work in theater, doing big productions and things like that. You know, a production for school doesn't last that long. Like, that's different. I'm talking about when these people are these children are being the breadwinner for their family. They're bringing that income. So an income like that is not like an appearing on TV for 2 lines and that's it. They have to do so much more, and besides the filming and besides the rehearsing and still having to have a life and even go to school because they don't want to be behind on their learning. So a lot of them go to school. I guess you can say, well, now it doesn't make sense. Now it makes sense, but a lot of them go remotely, or I guess that's what it's called. But they also have to deal with interviews and being recognized everywhere they go, and that must be hard and stressful. And I think about a lot of these YouTubers, these influencers, these social media people that are bombarding the internet with photos of their kids, because this is the cool thing now, to share things, to share everywhere you go and things like that. But I just want to advise anybody out there who's watching this, you know, you have to go back to that story about Jesus, and think about when he started his whole mission. Like, he started when he was 33, and no, I'm sorry, I believe it was 30 because he died at 33. Just think about that, guys. I mean, he didn't die, guys. He went through the crucifixion at 33, and he rose again. Oh wow, the spirit just convicted me to correct that. We all know that, but I just wanted to clear that out, because I didn't say Jesus died. He got crucified, but he rose again and he's alive. Okay. So I just wanted to clarify that. But I just want to say, think about that. You know, before you snap a photo, we're so, you know, like, we're so quick to just share everything. I mean, I have that problem too. I have my days when, you know, like I told you guys a couple of videos back, I have my days when I'm like, I don't even know what to do with Instagram anymore. But then I'm like, I just want to post this. I just want to post more and things like that. Thank you, God. I don't know if you guys heard that. They're taking away the likes from Instagram. You are the only one who will be able to see it, how many people like it. I mean, the likes can drive you insane. And I was talking about that too. I made a video about it's called Body for Likes or something like that. You can check it out. How having so many likes and liking somebody's content can sometimes say, you know, I agree with everything that you're doing. So that's why you have to be careful. I was just on my Instagram before making this video, and I'm like, how did I follow this person, guys? I mean, talk about a porno photo. Like, I don't want to see it. I mean, people are just craving attention like crazy. I was like, who is this person? I don't want to see this on my phone. It was like on a bathing suit, you know, but it was very explicit. And I was like, who is this person? So I immediately unfollow that person. I don't want nothing to do with that. I feel like these days people will do anything for that like, anything. So this is why I'm so happy that Instagram is taking that away. I just it's enough. Like, people are just like lovers of self. They just want to post it out there. If they saw that 1,000 people liked their photo and they were showing a miniskirt, tomorrow they'll do the bathing suits because they know it's getting more attention. And that to me is just so sad, because going back to sharing so much like that, you have to think about it, ladies. Like, I mean, married men and unmarried men are watching that, and the flesh is weak. Your boss, your pastor, your mechanic, every man that you know in your life or you have encountered is watching that. People, perhaps some men that know you but they don't really interact with you. Then you get a stalker, and then it can get really bad. Like, think about that stuff, guys. Don't be just snapping photos just to show. Um, let your body be hidden. I don't understand. It's just getting way out of hand. And what I'm saying about liking that stuff, liking that type of content, especially when you're browsing and you're liking, you're saying to that person, I love what you're doing. And when people are posting photos like that, not only are they very their self-esteem is very low, believe it or not, just because they're sharing so much photos like that, showing a lot of skin and things like that, doesn't mean they're like they have, they feel good about themselves. They're craving that, like, because they feel so bad, like they want that kind of instant gratification, whatever that's called. They want to say, I'm doing good. So when you have somebody, especially people from church, people who believe in God, saying, oh, liking it, they're thinking, oh, it must be good. I mean, she liked all my photos, so it must be good. So what they're going to do tomorrow, they're going to put something else. So that's just like a little advice, guys. But anyways, I just wanted to share this about the actress from the iCarly TV show. She is completely retiring from acting. Jennettemccurdy, who plays Sam Puckett for 6th season on the Nickelodeon show that ended in 2012. She was talking about her acting during her podcast show, and she said, she was put in that business when she was 6, and everything that happened last year and the year before about the casting couch and things like that. I'm not saying that happened to her, but I'm saying we have stories about that and trying to be famous and things like that. It's just so sad. You have to pay attention, guys. I know I love kids. I love how cute they are and things like that. God forbid, when I have my kids one day, in Jesus' name, I have my kids and get married and all of that. I have to have control with sharing. Like I said to you guys, I do have some days that I'm sharing way too much. I'm learning though. I'm learning, because before I used to tell a lot about my business to people, and I shouldn't do that. You have to keep your stuff quiet. If anything I learned, guys, in the last, I guess you can say, 10 years, going to school and all of that, don't say your business. My mom will always tell me that, but I still, you go back to the like a dumb person. You still do the same thing. The Bible said, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. Something along that lines. You have to just keep your stuff quiet. And I think social media is such a social media can make you do a lot of things that are against the Bible, guys. Think about it. Like, we want to tell everybody what we are. A lot of people travel just to post that photo. A lot of people do that. Like, I should do a contest. Not a contest, but like a survey or something. Like, where was the last time? Where did you go the last time that you didn't share on social media? It's gonna be hard to find a spot, like a destination that you went to that you didn't post that one photo on social media. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Let me know what you think about children who start acting when they're very, very young, and let's see, let me know what you think. I think starting a blog and like using your baby for photos and things like that, I mean, that can create resentment. Not every child will be okay with that. You have to think about that. Let that child develop that personality and see if they like it. If they like, 20 years from now, for a stranger to have followed them throughout their life and approach them on the street and be like, I've been watching your photos since you were born. And they were like, who are you? Get out of here. Think about that, guys. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my channel. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday night. I can't believe it's already Wednesday. Time is flying by. God bless everybody. Good night.